美国一而再、再而三对香港进行遏制打压，换来的只能是其在香港的代理人的加速灭亡，最终必将反噬其自身，让美国那些乡巴佬们在中华民族5000年文明面前去哀鸣吧。
Look, the president has made his position on China quite clear, although I do have an additional statement that he just shared with me in the Oval Office. The ball is in China's court. China needs to make a deal with us. We don't have to make a deal with them. There's no difference between China and any other country except they are much larger. And China wants what we have, what every country wants, what we have, the American consumer. Or to put it another way, they need our money. So the president, again, has made it quite clear that he's open to a deal with China, but China needs to make a deal with the United States of America.
And it had to be done. What was happening to us on trade, not only with, if you look at it, not only with China, but China was by far the biggest abuser in history.
More than 80% of the luxury bags in the world are made in China.
In the wake of President Donald Trump's heightening of tariffs to China, what we're also seeing is a vast or a large number of luxury good manufacturers that we would usually synonymize with coming from France or Italy. And again, by not naming names, those products in their basic form are considered or constructed in actually China. And there may be a small item that is attached to that item subsequently and retrospectively when it arrives in Belgium or in France or Italy, which will then allow that luxury good manufacturer to then claim it as being built in that country rather than China.
Let's not be poisoned and misled by the market campaign any longer and be a real person. Buy a bag from us, from our factory in China. See the real world for yourself.
Many of the viewers of this video will, if they haven't already, start to see a huge increase in reels and content which talks and actively promotes from some of those manufacturers for those luxury brand goods, saying that they can purchase those items at a fraction of the price they would pay in those luxury brand stores. And even with the shipping and even with the new heightened tariffs, they would still obtain these luxury items at a considerable price cheaper than they would by buying it in the conventional sense and the conventional stores.
I guess most of you know the price of Lululemon or other big brands. They sell you a legging pants for $100. And guess what? Here in these two factories, you can get them for around $5 to $6.
It's the ultimate pulling the curtain on the Wizard in the Wizard of Oz and showing that there actually is no real magic and power in the person who's controlling Oz.
So there are a number of products that we will use and we may utilize on a daily basis that we don't realize has Chinese influence. And BYD being one case in point, who are pushing very aggressively at the electric vehicle market. And these are electrical vehicles which are of a very different ilk to what we have traditionally seen. These are hypercars and supercars. These are utility vehicles, which are going to be far cheaper, certainly even during this cost of living crisis, for families economically to consider within their purchasing options.
I think China will buckle like everyone else has and there's a few reasons for that. They are becoming more isolated. I think the rest of the world knows that China has been taking advantage of the West, not just America, for a long time. Granted, the negative outcomes were greater in America because, of outsourcing our industrial base. And the U.S. is a much bigger economy than any other country in the world, obviously. So, the pain was probably felt more in the U.S., but it's not uncommon in other Western countries who've been taken advantage of by the Chinese. So this is a moment where I think the world is starting to better understand.